Welcome to the DDFC Talks in collaboration with Fashion Forward. We're honored to have with us tonight a very esteemed guest, Group Creative Director of Chalhoub Group, Linton Crockford Moore, will be speaking to us tonight about how to make your product stand out in stores. Linton has been responsible for some very iconic retail concepts in our region and has worked very closely in creating some amazing consumer experiences, and will share those insights with us and how your brands can benefit from them.
Well, good evening. My name is Linton Crockford. Well, thank you so much, Ritu, for that fantastic introduction. Well, my name is Linton. I'm the Chalhoub Group Creative Director. Myself and, I have to say, my fantastic team are responsible for the Chalhoub Group to create our own concept retail equity. You can see here some of the concepts that we've created in this time. We have Level Shoe District. I don't know if you're all familiar to that. Level Shoe District is our 9,000 square meter retail store in Dubai Mall dedicated to luxury shoes. We have a newly opened concept in Yas Island, and that's Triano. And that's a 20,000 square meter retail expression dedicated to beauty, children's, and handbags. And most exciting for me in particular, is a new concept that we're opening next month, mid-April. And that's actually Level Kids. And that's actually situated in City Walk. And that's 9,000 square meters dedicated to children's luxury retailing. For me and for the Chalhoub Group, luxury retailing and such of these concepts, it's more than natural shop. It's about creating a gorgeous space. A space where customers can be connected, a space where customers can discover and experience. And that, to me, is what retail is about. It's about creating that fabulous, gorgeous space for customers to be expressed and to see your brands. So really, what is it happening in retail today? Now, this evening, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the key points that you as brands and designers should be considering when presenting your brands inside a retail store. These, to me, are incredible, simple techniques that I feel that you must use and should use to make your consumers love you. And that's what it's about, making your consumers love everything about you. Now, I've been in retail for 25 years, and I know you're all sitting there thinking, well, he doesn't look that old, but it has been 25 years. In those 25 years, I've seen an incredible change in retail. And I suppose the most significant change in retail has been brought to us by the internet. The internet and that fabulous device that we carry around, the smartphone, has changed the way our consumers really interact with our brands. The rise and the continued sophistication of the internet and in turn the smartphone really gives that consumer an incredible touch point to our brands. Now, how we sell changes every 50 years. And you only really need to look back how retail started and how we started selling way back in ancient Greece. You look at the Agora marketplace, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. You look at how they actually started selling. It all started off in this town square where people came. Where people come, they come and chat, they come and greet, and they come to socialize. Wherever people meet, a retail turns up. The retail turns up, and this man comes along, and what he does, he sets out a stall, and then suddenly you got your first market. Sometime later, somebody else comes along and says, well, it's not good weather today. Let's put a roof over that. Then you got your first independent store. Sometime later, somebody comes along and says, well, I'm going to do better than that. I can bring all of you together in departments, and I will create the first department store. The first department store exists. Then sometime along, somebody comes along and says, well, we'll do better than that. I'll have all of you together, the first mall. It continues, and it continues. What happens then? Well, really, all of these places still exist. The mall, the department store, the market, they all still remain with us. The people who don't understand the importance about humans connecting together and human behavior. They don't exist. What's important for us as retailers is understanding what customers want and being able to give that to them. When I look at the region's retail landscape, for me, I see very little differentiation of what's happening. The market is very large, but with only a few players really setting themselves apart from the others. However, looking at the plateau that we are experiencing here in the region through post-recent large growth, with international brands coming in, I think that will start to change. That is a threat, and more importantly, that to you can be an opportunity. An opportunity for you as businesses to look at how you operate and how you engage with your consumers. The UAE is becoming a far more sophisticated market, and I see in the next 5 years, by 2020, brand creativity will be the biggest and most single important tool that you need to engage with. For local brands and designers to compete in tomorrow's retail landscape, you need to really look at differentiators to set you apart from someone else. And for Dubai to become the destination from all the world to come to, the retail landscape would need to be more than just great collection and a great product. It's about creating a clear brand positioning and brand experience that will set you apart, creating excitement, talkability around all of your consumer touch points. For me, and actually this comes to a big surprise to all my commercial teams, with the rise of e-commerce, the retail stores of tomorrow are going to be less about sales and more about experiences. Certainly, consumers can discover brands online, purchase offline, and discover online. But it's the physical stores which the consumers would want to emotionally connect with you. By 2020, and take note, experience in retail will overtake price above any other differentiator. For brick-and-mortar stores and creative directors like me, that's a really good thing. Over the last year, what we have seen is from our consumers a complete pullback from the social media saturation. Digital has become part of our everyday lives. 5 years ago, it was new, it's exciting. All retailers want to be part of digital and really want to use it in all of their ways to communicate. Moving forward, the online and digital will become an everyday activity that your consumers will be activating on, and it'll become mundane. Now consumers want to go beyond that. They want to touch your brand, they want to see your brand, they want to feel it, and they want to smell it. Don't get me wrong, digital is very important for you, but it will become a service part of how you operate. It will be something that you need to capture and engage and communicate to your brands. But the physical stores is going to be the vital important for you to actually develop those lasting memories. For consumers, memories are embedded into those neurological paths of themselves, and that is what stays. And that's why retailers of tomorrow, and we in the Chalhoub Group, are moving towards an era of experiences. What that means is that you need to make a seismic shift from thinking of selling in a store and move towards creating a space of discovery, a space of entertainment, a space of excitement, and a space where the consumer is at the heart of what you do. The consumers are looking for a real sense of occasion, and that is what we want to be able to deliver. If I take Level Shoe District, our new concept that opened up, when we first began that, and I worked very closely with Rania Masri, who's the general manager, and her team, we wanted to create a space where customers felt gorgeous. We wanted to create a space where customers will gather, where they wanted to experience, and a space where they wanted to find and buy a beautiful pair of shoes. At the heart of Level, it is all about creating a vibrant engagement with a truly multi-sensorial experience, triggering all your emotions for a consumer that's evocative. With evocative merchandising, we created our own fragrance. We created fabulous personalized services. We have a cafe, we have a spa, we have a complete experience around retail entertainment. And what we're doing in Level is uniting lifestyle and commerce together. And that's what we simply need to do, is to make consumers want to come in and want to experience. When we conceptualized Level, I started to think about, first of all, what would I want if I was a consumer? It's getting windy now. What would I want if I was a consumer? What are my expectations when I go into the store? And then I went around trying to understand how our consumers feel when they go inside the store. I wanted to understand what their emotions. Now, when you go inside a shoe store, I find there's a heightened emotion. Your heart beats. There's an adrenaline rush. When you see that fantastic 5,000 dirham pair of Jimmy Choos, there is this wonderful feeling that you have. In fact, actually, with my deep research with the shoe consumer, I started off with a very humble, 10 pairs of shoes. In 3 months of really understanding the consumer, I went up to 160 pairs of shoes. So shoe shopping is very addictive. We found that shoes are an object of desire. And shoe shopping is truly that energetic experience. In Level Shoes, we wanted to present shoes like jewels. We wanted to present shoes like candy. We wanted to present shoes like a sculpture. We want to present shoes that is everything about beauty that goes beyond words. Level Shoes is all about creating that experience from the moment you enter into the store and the moment you leave. It's fabulous, it's distinctive, and it really is vibrant. For me, great retailing is just about that. It's about creating that consumer connection. It's about storytelling. It's about theatre, and it's really about that consumer captivation of who you are. So, thinking of this new retail experiential experience that we want to work in, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to brands today and retailers wanting to stand out? Well, first of all, my recommendation is don't start off with a sales plan. Really think about starting off with a creative plan. Ask yourself, where's the gap? Where's my business? What can my business give to the consumer? What can I do to stand out beyond everybody else? What can I do to create excitement? What can I do to be new? And more importantly, how can I get my consumer to love me? And that's what it's about, being loved and having your consumers to be your fans. And then, once you've accomplished this creative plan of making your consumers love you, you then go around to develop a consistency between all of your consumer touch points. In the old days, your consumer was your retail shop floor. That shop floor is very big now. With digital, that shop floor is technology. That shop floor is the smartphone. That shop floor is word of mouth. That shop floor is the advertising campaign you've invested on Shakeside Road. Every single touch point that your customer comes into interaction with your brand is your touch point, and that is your shop floor. Consistently, and how you connect your brand emotionally to your consumer through aspirational thinking and creativity is the way forward for retail in the future. Ultimately, the physical store has the potential to be the most powerful, effective media tool that you have tomorrow. Stores of the future will see themselves as total retail, communicating consumers through all acts of fulfillment, and that you and we will see change that will weigh the products will be so much more important. Instead of working out how much product to put on the shop floor, you should really look at creating an expression for lifestyle. Social stores, social hubs, inspirational style merchandising, with your social media really infused in everything that you do. When consumers go out shopping tomorrow, their journey is not only to make a buying purchase. Their journey is about a social experience. They want to connect and be triggered on all their emotions. Now, according to some research that we put together in the Chalhoub group, we looked at what GCC customers are wanting from their shopping behaviors into the future. We identified 3 pillars here. Customers in the future want to be surprised, and they want to be entertained. They want to be surprised through inspirational displays. They want to see a range of brands and styles. They want to see the novelty. They want to see regular displays and constantly changing new visual merchandising and new ideas along the way. They also want comfort and convenience. They want to see welcoming store entrances. They want to see comfortable seating. They want to see hospitality. They want the layouts easy to navigate. They're also looking for services and not just the sale. They want to see up-to-minute and latest trends. They want to see the new collections, offerings, and personalizations with new technology and private areas. I put together here 6 key trends for you to work by when building your business plan, building your creative business plan inside a brick-and-mortar store. First of all, we'll look at storytelling. Tell your customer who you are. Tell stories, dream. They want to be evoked. They want to see inspiring visual merchandising. This is a fantastic window from Hermes. This is really about merchant entertainment. Tell a story to them. Tell you who you are, what you represent, but keep those stories always consistent to who you are. The next one is actually creating a beautiful, extraordinary journey. As the customer walks into the store, create a sense of weightless shopping. So a customer journeys and finds and discovers all new realms for them to journey by. The next point is retailtainment. Now, we all want to be entertained. We don't want to go into a store and just see product on display. We want to see great activities, great inspirations, and great entertainment inside the store. It doesn't just mean having a few canapes as your customer comes into the store. It goes beyond that. It's evoke them, give them something to be excited about. The next thing is really standing out through sensory retailing. Now, this is my favorite one. In all the store concepts we've created, I look at all those senses that you have. You know, you look at the sense of smell, the whole olfactory memory. For Level Shoe District, we wanted to create a brand memory, so we created a fantastic fragrance based out of fig. So when you walk into the store, you have that smell just evoking around you. If you actually go into Mall of the Emirates and Dubai Mall, the moment you enter in there, you can smell this wonderful fragrance. Connect your brand through fragrance. Also connect your brand to music. So work about the sound of your store and what that represents. Think about your brand and think what kind of music that would represent to you. Interaction, touching, all those wonderful sensory tools, put them in part and the heart of what you're doing. Today, particularly in the new millennials, consumers are looking for sustainable engagement. They're looking for a meaningful experience. Collaborate. Find who is doing something that really has a sustainable edge to what they're doing. This is a fantastic concept. It's from Selfridges. It's been running 5 years now. The first one was Young New Things. Then they had another concept, Old New Things. And then we have Bright New Things. And what they do is they collaborate with young designers who have a sense of meaning, who really look towards building and focusing on this platform of sustainable engagement into the community. The next one is to look at how you can develop your store through digital. Have digital through all the store, but make it meaningful. Interactive screens, interactive content, social media hotspots, all those tweeting, all those exercises inside the store. But make that journey very much alive, but make sure it's meaningful and relevant. Don't just take digital just because you have it. It means that there is actually a digital element that consumers can really work with. We then talk about consumer touch points. Now, there's many touch points. I mentioned about the media, and I mentioned about the iPhone and so forth. But these are in-store consumer touch points. Anything that the store or the customer feels as she enters into the store is your consumer touch point. We look at your window displays. Those window displays have to represent you. Be storytelling, be theatrical, and really talk about who you represent. Store entrances need to really give a sense of who you are. As the moment you enter into the store, you need to see a clear sight line all the way through. We look at in-store animations. Every moment the customer walks through the store, she wants to be entertained. She wants to be engaged. We look at product display. Keep your display inside the store pure, simple, and communicate the language and the DNA of who you are. If you go inside, for instance, Apple today, the moment you enter inside that store, you know instinctively the spine of that brand, that DNA is translated in every way. It could be the salesperson. That salesperson will come over here and be really quite cool with you. And as you try, you go to the Genius Bar and you start to see this great VM. Really look at how you present your product, but really take your presentation back to your DNA. Your store layout, make sure it's clean and focused for your brands. Use sensory tools, and also use the digital tools. I'm going to give you, to conclude, top tips for you to stand out with your marketing exercise. Now, these are marketing top tips. I know that to many people, marketing puts the fear through them, but these are really simple techniques that you can use to engage your consumers. Tip 1, always put yourself in the shoes of your consumer. Understand what they want. Understand what they're expecting from you, and then deliver that through. Tip 2, don't go too big at the beginning. Really focus upon really communicating to your consumer at those moments. Don't try and go over the top. Connect all your messages, all those messages that you have from your brand, whether it's your social media, whether it's your advertising, whether it's actually in-store merchandising. Make sure they're all relevant. Look at other businesses. Look at the businesses that are out there that you love. Look at those businesses and see, what are they doing? Why do I love them? And how can I follow them and do that in my business? Partner with other brands and other businesses in the community. Work with brands in the community that are not necessarily doing the same thing as you, but you can actually collaborate, that they will lift you up. Tip 6 is my last one, and that's be upbeat. Be fun, be friendly, and be happy. All customers and all people remember happy people. Nobody wants to see a miserable person. If you're miserable, you won't come back. Thank you very much.
Sound? Thank you so much, Linton. I think we have time for maybe a couple of questions
Yes,
from the audience,
sure.
if that's okay by you.
Sure.
You have questions?
I'll ask you questions now because I'm not going to answer them when I go outside. No questions.
I have a question, Linton, if that's okay. When you were developing these amazing concepts, Level Shoes and Triano, did you work directly with designers sometimes to create the experience around their products? And how do you do that?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, there's 2 areas that we'll have to look at. First of all, we need to look at our consumers, understand what they want. I think I addressed that pretty clear this evening. The next thing is about creating this beautiful box, this beautiful, gorgeous space where we can host brands. All of our concepts are built around multi-brand concepts, but also shop-in-shops and expressions. So we really need to understand about what the brand's expectations are. So we meet with the brands, we listen to them, we want to know how they want to be presented, and we build the story around that. Level Shoe District, for instance, we have 4 key areas inside the store. We have our designer area, the contemporary area, and also our trend area and the men's area. We worked with brands and said, right, which area? Who's your consumer? Where do you want to be positioned? How you want to be positioned? And we build around that expression for them. So it's really about listening to them and being able to give back for them to be able to stand out and be present.
Thank you so much. Thank you all
I have
for
one more
attending.
question. I have another question
we do have
here.
another question.
Hello. You've mentioned in your presentation digital marketing. My question is digital marketing. My question is, how are you incorporating the digital world in your setups, in your stores, with your brands? What are the ideas that you are working on with your team, and what would you suggest to us to do if we really have an interest in presenting those brands on applications and we want to add some creative aspect on it, not just pure e-commerce? What do you have? Do you have anything in mind to suggest, or any interesting ideas you're working on? Thank you.
Well, I'm a creative director and I work on physical spaces, and I actually try and keep away from the digital world because obviously that's not where I'm presenting. But inside our concepts today, the way we talk and the way I talk to our teams is actually making digital part of everything that you do. And making it integrated as a service tool rather than a tool that really becomes a tool for the sake of having tools. So it's all the social media interactions. In the physical store, what I do, we like to have the interactive digital screens where we can communicate hot topics, best trends, best new novelties. But I'm not the best person when it comes to digital because I actually shy away. It's about a physical space, and that's where customers, I feel, are being engaged today. Maybe next time I'll bring in my social media team, my digital team, to be able to communicate that to you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think there's one more question.
One last question.
Here, right?
Hi. In your shop, you have many different designers. I guess everyone wants to be like in the best position, where there's more visibility, where maybe the displays are better. How do you negotiate with all different to actually reach a balance?
It's really not easy. Of course, obviously, every brand wants to have prime position. Every brand wants to be at the front. Every brand has to, really has, the entrance to the store in the heart of the store. So what we do when I design the stores, I don't take care of brand negotiation. I leave that to somebody else who has the patience to do that. What I do specifically when I design a store, I try to design a store that ensures a consumer journey, that every touch point, there's visibility and exposure to the brand. For me, like a mother of multiple children, we'd like to treat our brands equally. So it's really about careful mass distribution, careful planning, careful zoning, careful setting out of the store to ensure that all of our brands have an equal voice, an equal presentation to really communicate their presence inside the store. That's my responsibility, to ensure that all of our brands are treated equally. But of course, obviously, the brands always want to have, the prime positions. And we try to enable ourselves in our retail concepts to give that as much as possible.
But at the end, you make the choice. Like, for example, your final choice is like, okay, the shop is going to be organized like this. Because for sure there will be some other ideas, basically, everyone having their own. You said you try to balance it to make them as happy as you can, but eventually, if it's different, it's your decision at the end. You have the last call, right?
I think it's a two-way development what you have with their brands. We don't necessarily have the last call. It's about building and trying to listen to what their requirements are and giving that space that lifts them up in the right space. And being really, and I go back to relevant to the consumer and relevant to that brand positioning. But we try, in every aspect, is to design our stores in a way that everybody is lifted up quite equally.
Wow, that's an achievement.
We try. Okay. Any more? Yes.
Where's?
I'm so sorry I can't hear you.
Hi. We just talk about multi-brand stores and you talk about merchandising all these brands, but I want to ask you also, sometimes the prices, you want to put in the spotlight all the brands, but sometimes the difference from the prices, some are high prices, some are less, and you don't have like a space where to merchandise them alone. How you will merchandise them?
So we're talking about
Like
price,
if the price, yes,
positioning inside the
Yes.
store, where
Yeah.
we place them.
yes.
Well, for our big box projects, Level Shoe District, is we work really about category expression. So what we'll do is we'll have at the front of the store, we have our designer area. Then we have our contemporary area. And then we also have our trend area. So we try to position the prices based upon each of those positions of the category. But also we try to mix up a little bit. I want to give our consumers a wide option of price points. So if you go into the designer area, you've got, a really good entry price where it could be, 250, 1,000 dirhams, going up, 5,000, 6,000. So we try to mix up the offer to the consumer, but having a very clear readability on how we're positioning in a clear area with this designer, contemporary, and trends.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
It's being relevant to the consumer and being relevant to the concept all the time.
Thank you.
Any more? I think we're good to go.
Great.
Thank
you
you
so
very much.
Thank you.